Summer. The season of spontaneous road trips, late night fast food runs, and pretending I didn't say I was gonna hit the gym every single day. This is time for questionable decisions, overambitious plans, and waking up at noon as if it was a full-time job. I'm talking about bonfires that get too big, beach days that turn into beach weeks, and the one friend that says trust me right before everything goes completely sideways. Hopefully not his car though. Just kidding. That is not my lifestyle. I need everybody to take a second and let's pause. I didn't really think that was gonna work. So let's redo this properly this time. And as Showbiz says, take it from the top. I don't know. Let's go way back to the beginning and do this properly. Or allow me to try to convince you I'm doing it properly. There the title screen is. He's gonna take it away. Enjoy. You ever notice how most days feel the same? Wake up, reach for your phone, scroll a little, check notifications, see if that email came in, maybe the job opportunity, maybe something that finally breaks the loop. And then you just sit there, passing time, doom scrolling through TikToks that you won't remember, liking things that you don't really even like, and your thumb just knows the rhythm better than your brain. Then for a second, just a flicker, maybe your neurons finally decided to coexist. Something hits. A thought, an idea, a sentence. Well, after you sit and feel remorse for sitting and doing nothing for hours, then you start to write. You start jotting down thoughts. Well, you realize that it's kind of hard with a camera attached to your pen. A little fourth wall break for y'all. But you start to write things down. And you try to convince yourself that you have to create no matter how bad it is, because although you have the vision, you realize that your technical skill is not up to par. You have the ability to set up lights, cameras, action, as the cliche goes, but when it comes to putting what is on your mind onto the screen, you struggle. But then you realize you do not have the ability to create because you do not plan, and your room, well, it sits an idle with the creative explosion that you made, all because of the crippling fear that you're going to fail. And you believe deep down that because you got 20 likes on your previous project, that you are going to fail. Maybe you just didn't make it onto the algorithm yet. All this note-taking that you do, that deep down you already know you'll close, save, forget, or let sit with the rest of your thoughts that you were supposed to follow up on, nothing leaves the paper if you don't create. And this is the message I need you to understand. You need to create, even if it's bad, even if it is so terrible that it makes you and your peers cringe. At least you are practicing your craft. Your imagination and technical skill are so far apart, you need to bridge the gap. And while you sit here, rotting away, wasting time, you look on YouTube and see things that you want to create being created by others, because they're doing something that you're not. You sit waiting for the perfect moment. They don't. They create and hit upload. They push themselves over the edge of fear of failure. Because if you let yourself be held back by your fears, you would do nothing. Plants only grow when they're nurtured, and so far, you've only been putting them in the closet, devoid of light and proper nutrients, to bloom. You sit on YouTube and you see people who get 500 views to hundreds of thousands of views, and you realize something's missing. Their thumbnails make it onto the algorithm, whereas you not posting won't get you anywhere. So while you focus so deeply on everybody else's likes, views, and subscriber count, realize this: at least theirs are on YouTube and not in your editing bay, waiting, collecting dust, and probably will never see the light of day. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And this whole waiting for the right moment thing is just another way of stalling, another excuse dressed up as preparation. You're not protecting your creativity. You're killing it and burying it. You've been talking about next time for months, maybe even years. How many versions of yourself never got the chance to speak because you thought the lighting wasn't right, the edit wasn't smooth enough, or your voice doesn't sound the way it does in your head? You don't need a grand rebrand. You don't need another 3-month hiatus. You need to hit upload. One more video every day, every other day. That's one more entry into the lottery. One more door cracking open for you. So stop betting on the perfect moment and start betting on momentum. The algorithm doesn't remember your feelings. It doesn't care. It only remembers your presence. And for the love of God, avoid brain rot. Phones became less of a device and more of a digital pacifier. You don't scroll, you dose. One hit of TikTok, 2 hits of comparison, and a final sprinkle of why isn't my life measured up to this person that I'm seeing on my screen? You believe, why do they have it all figured out? They don't. It's social media. The incessant droning of social media. It's a drug. All a trick. But there's always a way out of that tunnel. Even if it feels like the algorithm replaced the sun, there is a cure. Sometimes it's not clarity, but it's motion. Creating, posting, feeling your ideas take shape instead of sitting silent. And all that excess noise in your brain, shut it off. Be productive. Because it turns out productivity might just be the best drug you've got.